I found a boarding pass in my wife's maiden name. I met her at the gate hook. The email was open on our shared laptop when I sat down to pay the gas bill. Your boarding pass is ready. The name on the digital ticket wasn't my wife's name. It was the name she wore before me. One way. Tonight. Gate 23B. I read it 3 times the way you read instructions for a fire alarm you hope you'll never need. I'm Julian, 37, who can schedule 6 teams and forget to schedule a question that is, what time? My wife is Claire, 35, city archivist, expert at labeling what people meant to keep. We are tidy spouses. We are good at got it. Lately, we have been spectacular at silence with manners. The boarding pass had a seat assignment and an airline font that made everything look inevitable. I told myself reasonable things in unreasonable ways. She's traveling for work. She uses her maiden name on some documents. She would have told me. The reasonableness didn't help. The one-way blinked inside my head like a broken streetlight. I texted, "Everything okay?" She replied, "Running late meeting, don't wait up." No plane emojis, no hint of runway. Just our usual grammar for avoiding panic. At 6:10, I was still a respectable human being. By 6:25, I was a man who could not fold a towel correctly. At 6:40, I put on the jacket that makes me look like a person who remembers where he put things, and rode the train to the airport with my heart narrating worst-case scenarios in subtitles. Airports are designed to make decisions look like logistics. I bought a refundable ticket to anywhere after 9, cleared security with a belt I shouldn't have worn, and followed the signs to 23B. The concourse was full of people practicing patience. A family building a tower of snacks, a man laughing too loudly into a phone, a couple asleep with their heads tilted toward each other like matching ideas. Claire sat by the window in the posture she uses when she is trying to be small. Knees together, hands folded around a paperback, hair pinned up like a ceasefire. The name on her screen, a white bar with a barcode, was the name I met 10 years ago at a lecture about the river that used to run under our city. She looked up, and her face did a small, honest thing. Relief first, then embarrassment, then something like decision. "You found it," she said, as if I had discovered a clue in a museum, which is funny given her job. "I found you," I said, which felt dramatic and true in equal measure. We didn't create a scene. Airports are already scenes. I sat. The chairs were the exact shade of gray that makes people behave. The PA system announced that a different flight was late. No one applauded. "Why the old name?" I asked, making my voice as calm as people in instructional videos. She turned the paperback face down on her lap. "I wanted to see if I could still be brave under it," she said. "Not brave like leaving, brave like telling the truth without a PowerPoint." She glanced at the window where a plane in another life backed away from a gate. "I thought if I booked a ticket as the person I was before we were a we, I could at least have the conversation I kept rehearsing and never starting. By getting on a plane, maybe." She smiled without teeth. "Maybe by getting as far as the gate." A toddler dropped a cracker with the solemnity of a ritual. Someone behind us argued quietly about aisle versus window, which is a metaphor I don't recommend if you want to stay married. Claire exhaled. "I'm not leaving you," she said. "I'm trying not to leave myself." I looked at her hands. They carry ink sometimes and history often. "You could have told me," I said, thinking of all the times we have told each other we were fine and then resented the other for believing us. "I tried," she said. "I put the ring on a chain because it felt heavy on my finger. You said it looked nice. I said I might go visit my aunt in Portland. You said, bring me back coffee. I said I missed us. You said you missed sleep." She wasn't cruel, she was accurate. Archivists are dangerous with accuracy. The boarding time on the monitor got closer. The plane at 23B wasn't going to Portland. It was going to a smaller city where we had once gotten lost on purpose. The first year we dated, we missed a train there and ate peaches on the platform, sticky and laughing, our hands making promises we didn't yet have words for. What's the plan? I asked. Multiple choice, she said. A, I get on the plane and prove I can still cross state lines alone. B, I don't and we agree not to call that a failure. C, we buy another ticket and make a mess on purpose somewhere that sells peaches. She turned the book so the cover showed. It was yellow. D, we sit here under fluorescent honesty and talk until boarding is over. Is there an E? I asked. I like E. E, we make rules specific enough that even airports can understand them. She reached into her tote and produced a pen and a lined sheet folded into thirds. The top said in her neat print, Gate 23B Agreement. Below, 3 blanks with headings. Pack asterisk asterisk, drop asterisk, carry on asterisk. I thought you were improvising, I said, both teased and grateful. I'm an archivist, she said. Spontaneity is just unprocessed intention. I picked up the pen. Pack, hug in doorways, use the nice glasses on Thursdays, say the boring truth before it turns loud. She wrote, pack asterisk, breakfast sitting down, music while we clean, your hand on my back at crosswalks. Drop asterisk, I wrote, sarcasm when scared. Silent treatment as virtue, apologizing by doing chores twice. She wrote asterisk drop asterisk, weaponized fine, scheduling intimacy like a dentist. Carry on asterisk is what you cannot check or lose. I wrote 2 questions every Sunday night that we actually answer. She wrote, kiss hello like it's news, 1 walk a week without errands. We looked at the list the way you look at a map to see if you have any business being in the city you're in. She added a 4th blank, small, customs asterisk asterisk. Truth at first pass, she wrote. If it's awkward, stamp it and move on. The PA called families with small children. A baby applauded the idea. Claire traced the edge of the paper with her thumbnail, a habit I love more than it deserves. Why didn't you ask me about the boarding pass, she said, before coming here? I did, I said. I texted everything okay. You said meeting. I didn't trust the word. I was embarrassed to hear how teenage that sounded in my own mouth. Also, I wanted to see if you'd pick me at the gate. I did, she said quietly. I bought refundable. She held up the phone. The screen showed change flight, with a helpful confidence only software can manage. Here's a worse question, I said, because airports make me brave in unflattering ways. If I hadn't come, I might have gotten on, she said. I might have sat at the window and cried and ordered ginger ale like turbulent scarecrow people do. I might have come home on the morning flight and pretended it was a work thing. She looked at me for the offense I might take. I'm tired of pretending. I wanted a choice loud enough for both of us to hear. We grew quiet. Gate rituals continued around us. Scanning of barcodes, small arguments, the choreography of leaving. Claire leaned toward my shoulder like a person leaning toward a solution and then stopped half an inch away, as if testing whether I'd close the distance. Can we be a little ridiculous? I asked. Please, she said, smiling like she'd been waiting all week to be asked for ridiculous. I took the pen. Under carry-on I wrote, runway minute asterisk. Once a day, stand at the window and watch whatever is moving leave or arrive. 1 hand on the other person's shoulder blade so they know where home is. That's incredibly corny, she said, delighted. Approved. She added, last call asterisk asterisk. After 9, if either of us says last call, we stop arguing like paralegals and say only what we're afraid we'll forget in the morning. Do we need a witness? I asked, because apparently I now like paperwork too. Jules, she said, our friend whose eyebrows do community service. Monthly check-in. 1 question, no opinions. Boarding began for Group 1. We are forever Group 4. Claire stood to stretch and her scarf slipped. I put it back on her shoulders and my hand stayed a second longer than etiquette. Her breath made the smallest sound I know by heart. Which option? I asked. E, she said. Rules and seat upgrades we don't deserve. She took my hand. Let's not get on this plane. We didn't.